All members voted. Being 100 ayes, 40 nays, the amendment is adopted. Chair, does anyone wish to speak on, for, or against Senate Bill 19? If not, Chair recognizes Representative Cook to close.
Move passage.
Mr. Speaker,
Representative Simpson, for what purpose, sir?
may I ask the author of the bill a question?
Will the gentleman yield?
I yield.
Gentleman
Thank you,
yields.
Chairman Cook. We had a brief conversation yesterday, and I've tried to check the amendments, but I just want to confirm with you your understanding of page 31, lines 7 through 15. It's section 7.05. Page 31, lines 7 through 15.
And what's your question?
My question is this part still in the bill? It's my understanding that it is, but I want to just see if that's your understanding.
Now, if Mr. Simpson, if you tell me exactly where you are again, because I had to get my
Yeah,
bill.
sure. It's page 31, and it's lines 7 through 15. It has to do with section 7.05 and the effective date of the act. I'm particularly concerned with line 12, 13, 14, and 15.
I think we just addressed that with Representative Meyer's amendment.
Well, I don't think so, because it says that, I think this applies to videos that were taken. If they use them or divulge them, according to this, it's going to be retroactive. And even though this law was not in effect when they obtained those videos, and I'm not approving or condoning them. I have no knowledge, but I'm concerned about Article 1, Section 16 of our Texas Constitution and our federal Constitution, which prohibits enacting laws that are retroactive. And I believe this is going to take something that someone made and obtained under the laws of this state in a legal manner and actually make them a criminal for it if they divulge this information. Can you tell me if that is correct?
Mr. Simpson, you're looking at this bill, so you can see the dates that are involved here.
Well, that's right. I'm just asking as the author of the bill, will that apply to those any videos taken prior to this time if they divulge them? I've heard that some of it's actually been, it may not be a criminal penalty, but just maybe a civil penalty, I'm informed. But if they divulge them, as section 705 says, line 12, page 31, is there going to be a cause of action?
I think there's no criminal penalty. I think this is civil penalty.
Okay, that's what I'm asking now. I'm acknowledging that it may not be a criminal penalty, but a civil. Is it going to be retroactive? I
don't understand. Mr. Simpson, I'm not sure I can answer that question for you.
Well, it says, used or divulged as described by section 306.0041C2 Government Code as and added by this act on or after the effective date of this act without regard to when the communication was made.
Mr. Simpson, I'm not sure I can answer your question.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I urge people to vote against this bill if we don't understand what it's doing. It's a very important bill, as it has a good purpose. But, Mr. Cook, although I appreciate your goals, I have real hesitations when we're passing into law and it's something we don't even understand. Thank you.
Move passage.
Mr. Speaker.
Representative Stickland, for what purpose, sir?
Does the gentleman yield for a question?
Will gentleman yield? He yields the floor.
One question.
He yields for one question.
Representative Cook, how many pages is this bill now after yesterday and today?
There's a lot of pages on this bill, as you know, Mr. Stickland.
So you're not sure how many pages there are currently and what we're about to send out of this House?
I know what we're about to send out of this House.
And how many, do you have any idea how many different standalone bills that were filed or now currently embodied in this bill?
There were several.
Do you know how many?
No, Mr. Stickland.
So tell me if I'm correct. We don't know if it's retroactive. We don't know how many pages there are. We're not sure how many standalone bills have been added to this. But Representative, do you feel confident that you could stand up and argue the constitutionality of this piece of legislation? Sure, if it were to be questioned at one point?
Mr. Stickland, there are a lot of competent attorneys that would be able to do that. I'm not an attorney. And so if you have any other questions about why we should or shouldn't pass major ethics reform, I'm glad to try to answer that. Otherwise, I move passage of this bill.
Representative Cook, I just want to make sure that you're telling this body that you are confident that we're not going to waste state resources and that this bill is in fact constitutional.
Mr. Stickland,
and you're prepared to spend state dollars to defend
we should take ethics reform very seriously.
I do, and I want to make sure that those ethics reform are constitutional and will pass the muster.
Once again,
I'm starting to question whether you're able to do that or not.
Mr. Stickland, are you aware that this bill is quite different from the Senate version?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. So you understand it will go to conference. So
I do
whatever might
understand
come
it'll
out
go
of
for
conference, we'll probably see some pretty major changes between the two as we come together.
Can you tell us what those changes you anticipate are? Because I feel like, as a member of this body, that it's important that I cast a vote that I'm willing to actually become law. I mean, I don't know that I'm going to be on the conference committee.
We'll take odds on that.
No, but I'm being serious. We have a responsibility to pass out constitutional, responsible legislation that we are fully capable of understanding and explaining. And I'm kind of questioning that right now. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being serious. No one can tell me how many pages. No one can tell me how many bills.
We need to advance ethics in this state. You either vote yes or vote no.
Mr. Speaker,
Representative Stickland, for what
I ask
purpose,
that the remarks on third reading of SB 19 be reduced to writing and placed in the journal.
Members, you've heard the motion. Is there any objection? Chair hears none, so ordered. Members, the question occurs on passage of Senate Bill 19 to final passage of Senate Bill 19. This is a record vote. The clerk will ring the bell.